How's everybody doing? I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. Tis I, the Native Patriot. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just wanted to make a quick video, although it's probably going to be of me rambling most of the time. I will try my hardest to stay on topic. I'm not going to edit this video because I ain't got time. I'm in the middle of my senior year of college, so I am trying to just squeeze in videos when I can. If that means they're unedited, you get what you get is what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah, so I wanted to make a quick video about, I guess, just my thoughts, and the title of the video is probably something along the lines of, will Donald Trump win in 2024? It is currently mid-September 2024, and the election is pretty soon. So basically, I do think that Donald Trump stands a way better chance of winning election this coming November in a couple months than he did in 2020. Mostly because obviously in 2020, COVID was happening. It was a big thing, and there were a lot of lockdowns, and mail-in ballots were a big thing in that election. And I could go on and on about, I'll just say, irregularities about the 2020 election. But just to get to the point, in 2020, we had mail-in ballots, we had COVID going on. 2024, no COVID, or it's not a big deal as it used to be. And a lot of states are kind of cutting down on mail-in ballots or whatever. I know, I'm pretty sure states like Arizona have passed laws to kind of stop like a lot of the amounts of mail-in ballots being accepted without like proper signatures or verification and stuff like that. So I think mail-in ballots have been cut down a lot, which I do think led to helping Joe Biden in 2020. That's pretty much as I'll say about that, because this is YouTube. So those two things that helped Joe Biden in 2020 are no longer a thing in 2024. Therefore, I do think that Trump stands a way better chance winning this November. And having said all of that, and me thinking that Donald Trump stands a way better chance this coming election cycle, let me be perfectly clear that I still think it's very important to go out and vote, because even though I do feel like he will win in November, that doesn't mean that I need to be complacent, or you, if you're planning on voting for Donald Trump, you need not be complacent either. And what I mean by that is, y'all need to go out and vote for our boy Donald Trump, and don't stay at home on election day. For example, I live in Texas. Literally, that is the Texas flag. I live in Texas. 99.9999% certainty Trump will win Texas. But because of that, I'm not going to stay at home on election day and not vote for Trump, even though I know he's going to win Texas. Does that make sense? I'm still going to go out there and vote and show up, because I think that Republicans, their biggest enemy is themselves. Because we can have all of the ingredients, everything can be in place for a massive victory for Republicans, but time and time again, they just get complacent, they stay home, they don't vote, they don't go out like they're supposed to, and then the other side, the opposition, they win. And then those same Republicans that stayed at home will say like, oh, like make up a whole bunch of excuses when we need to be taking responsibility. That's kind of the point of being a Republican, is that we take responsibility for ourselves and for our part in things. And so we need to be consistent and realize that, again, I have to be careful. This is YouTube. Even though we may feel that certain things are not in our favor, meaning there might be some irregularities in elections, that we can't just blame that all on the fact that we didn't go out there and vote as Republicans. Does that make sense? So to nail it in, if you are going to vote for Donald Trump in November, you need to go out and vote for him. If you plan on voting for him, go out and vote. Do not stay home. And if you live in places like Arizona, I highly, highly, highly suggest that you vote early. I'm gonna vote early just because for me, usually you're in and out of early voting. I don't wait for election day. I know a lot of Republicans wait for election day. I don't like to do that just because, like I said, I'm busy right now with school, and I don't want to be last minute trying to vote and then getting to a polling place only to realize that there's a long line and then I need to be at work or I need to be in class. Even though I think technically work is supposed to like allow you to go vote, I don't want to be in a position where I just don't vote because I don't have the time because I waited till election day. And for whatever reason, Republicans out there are adverse to early voting, mainly because they have this idea in their head that if they vote early, it's like they know who you're voting for, therefore they can possibly create some irregularities. I'll just say it like that. But if there are going to be irregularities in this whole election cycle, it's going to happen whether we like it or not, if that makes sense, and that we still need to take the responsibility of going out to vote regardless of whatever irregularities happen. Does that make sense? So my main point, I'll say it again, if you are planning to vote for Donald Trump, go out and vote for Donald Trump. Try to go early so that you're not waiting last minute like what happened in Arizona. Republicans waited last on election day to vote. And then there were, I guess, voting machines that were down, and then people were asked to like vote on a piece of paper with like Sharpies and stuff like that. Super sketch, super sus. You can avoid that by what? By voting early. So, yeah, I do think that that is something that we need to make sure we do. I know that some Republicans, Trump supporters, what have you, will feel kind of down, especially with the debate, and they'll kind of get discouraged. And let me just be clear that the mainstream media is never going to do you a favor as a conservative, as a Republican, or as a Trump supporter. Meaning that if there are polls that really show that Donald Trump is going to win, they're probably not going to want to show that to you. They're probably going to show you something else that makes it look like Harris is going to win. Let me remind you, in 2016, when all of the polls and mainstream media was saying that Hillary Clinton was going to win, and we can't let that discourage us from still going out and voting, because that's what the uniparty wants, and the uniparty is what I think that Donald Trump and the rest of us who support Donald Trump are up against. The uniparty meaning that there's corrupt Democrats and some corrupt Republicans and everything in between that have a uniparty that is so corrupt that they put the interest of themselves first before the American people. And the mainstream media, in my opinion, is a part of that whole uniparty system. So they're not going to, the mainstream media is not going to want to encourage us that Trump will win. Rather, they probably want to discourage us. So if you do see polls that are like, oh, Harris is up like 10 points and, everybody says that Harris won the debate, and it's like, it's because they want to discourage you from supporting Trump and thinking that there's no path to victory. But again, we as Trump voters, supporters, whatever, we need to realize that we've done this already in 2016 to keep our heads up, to go out and vote, because at the end of the day, the polls don't really matter. The debate performance per se doesn't really matter. What the mainstream media is saying doesn't really matter. What matters is that we as Trump supporters go out and vote for Donald Trump in November. So yeah, this video is like already 10 minutes. There's some other stuff I wanted to talk about, but I'm not really going to talk about that in this video. My main point, which I've just kind of been saying over and over again, is that I do think Donald Trump has all of the ingredients to win in November, but the thing that matters is that if we do support Donald Trump, we have to make sure to go out and vote for Donald Trump. Do not stay home. Do not think, oh, my state's going to win, or Trump's going to win my state, so, I don't need to go out and vote. It's like, no. go out and vote. Do not have that attitude. Do not get discouraged if the mainstream media shows all of these, Harris up +10, and if they said, oh, Harris, won the debate and all this stuff, like, mainstream media is not going to want to do you as a Trump supporter any favors. But without continuing to ramble, I'm going to stop it right there because, I'm super busy. So busy with so many things. But yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.